President Bola Tinubu sent the Northwest and Southeast Development Commission bills into law. The Nigerian Senate adjourns the plenary till September 17, 2024 to proceed to 2-month annual recess. And foreign scene, a plane crash in Nepal kills all 18 passengers on board and left the pilot injured. Details of these and more we come to you shortly. To stay with us. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has received former Senate President Pius Anyim, who recently decamped from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC). Senator Anyim was led to the presidential villa by the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, who chaired the Southeast Governors Forum and Progressive Governors Forum alongside the governor of Ebonyi State, Francis Nwifuru. Senator Anyim, who explained why he left his party for the APC, said there was a need to put all hands on deck to frontally confront the challenges facing the country. He said the country was passing through turbulent times and it was the duty of all patriots to ensure a peaceful atmosphere. Governor Uzodinma, who also asked the youth to shelve their planned protest on August 1st, described the former Senate President as a big catch for the ruling All Progressive Congress.
We use the opportunity to commend and thank him for signing into law the Southeast Development Commission, which he just assented. If you recall, that bill has been there for the past, God knows. Attempts to pass that bill 3 times failed. Under his watch, he finally assented to the bill, which means listening to our cries. And the people of Southeast, particularly the leadership and the Southeast Governors Forum, which I'm the chairman, were indeed very grateful. We're very happy with that.
But importantly, I have a determination to be sure that the country moves on the right path. And I should be available to contribute my quota. The country is passing through turbulent times, and it is the duty of every patriot, if you have nothing to add, ensure that you contribute to the peaceful atmosphere that will engender progress in the country.
You see how I feel? I'm very excited, and it's a thing of joy to me that every big fish in my state, especially that of our nation, I am Pius Anyim, and so many other distinguished leaders, have decided to join our party, the All Progressive Congress. And is part of the benefit of dividends of democracy. We've been able to do well according to our own understanding and based on our own best of judgment. And that is what is engineering a lot of them to join APC, like what Mr. President has done.
President Bola Tinubu has assented the Northwest and Southeast Development Commission bills into law, thereby setting the stage for the establishment of the 2 interventionist agencies to address development challenges in the Northwest and Southeast part of the country, respectively, following years of insecurity. We have details in this report. The Deputy President of the Senate and sponsor of the Northwest Development Commission bill, Senator Jibrin Barau, disclosed the presidential assent during a chat with journalists in Abuja on Tuesday night. Correspondent Kunuji reports that expressing his happiness on the presidential assent to the bill, the Deputy President of the Senate in a media chat with journalists said the commission, when established, would help to drive development across the 7 states in the Northwest zone.
Appreciation and the appreciation of the entire people of the Northwest geopolitical zone. The fact that the President today signed the Northwest Development Commission bill, he signed into law, and so he has brought to life the Northwest Development Commission.
Similarly, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Ukize-Kalu, expressed what he called an extravagant gratitude to the President Bola Tinubu for signing the Southeast Development Commission bill into law, thereby approving the creation of the intervention.
Leader that has love of his people in his heart. What we need to do is to be patient. Rome was not built in Rome was not built in a day. Rome was not built in a day. For someone to do this, you know that person has a leader.
The Nigerian Senate has adjourned its plenary till September 17, 2024 to proceed to 2 months annual recess. The announcement was made after the Senate resumed from its break at 7:10 p.m. and ended at 7:30 p.m. The annual recess does not imply that the National Assembly has been shut down. The National Assembly is on break, but members of both chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives, will be on a daily basis busy doing their legislative duties. The work of the legislature does not start and end with the plenary sessions like all legislative assemblies across the globe, the bulk of which are done at the committee level.
For this epoch-making legislation, which has even reduced the time of negotiation from 5 years to 3 years in view of the expiring effect of foodstuffs. So it's now necessary that we review it every 3 years instead of 5 years. This is again a landmark legislation, so congratulations to all. On that note, it is now my privilege.
Transportation, construction, food processing and commercial facilities. Speaker Abbas, who was represented by the Minority Leader, Honorable Kingsley Chinda, emphasized the importance of safety standards and regulations for socio-economic development and well-being and encouraged stakeholders to contribute to the bill's success. He reiterated the 10th Assembly's commitment to citizen security and safety.
Standards and regulations are critical to safeguarding the lives and livelihood of the people. This insight can only be achieved by an efficient public institution, which the bill being evaluated today seeks to establish.
In enhancing safety standards and regulations.
The National Safety Regulatory Board will prioritize risk assessment, research, and capacity building to tackle emerging safety challenges. It will also play a pivotal role in raising public awareness and education on safety matters, empowering every Nigerian to contribute to a safety-conscious culture. I'm pleased to announce that the bill proposing the establishment of the National Safety Regulatory Board has been shared extensively.
The House of Representatives Committee on Federal Capital Territory has criticized the FCT administration's park and pay arrangement, citing harassment of residents and motorists by enforcement agents. The committee questioned the legitimacy of the policy, which was reintroduced in August 2023, and demanded details on its establishment, authorization and revenue remittances. The committee chairman, Mukhtar Betara, expressed concerns over the 60 revenue share allocated to concessionaries, while the FCTA receives only 40. He also queried the contracts process and infrastructure provided by the concessionaries.
Madam Secretary, for me, let me just ask you a question with the park and pay. The park and pay, I don't know. I used to see your staffs outside Abuja here. When you park, they said pay, you pay. You understand? I don't know who authorized or gave approval for that park and pay. And where do you pay the monies to? The way they operate in Abuja, they harass people on streets. They harass people on streets. I would have advised you people with these concessionaires you are giving, give your
regulation now. Guarding it's called 2019 parking regulation. And there's another road traffic regulation, amended 2023, which amended the 2023. We had 2020. by the authority now.
So when you use concessionaires for your exercise, there's usually a ratio between the concessionaire and the FCT. So for areas like this where we have concessionaires, there is a percentage, part of it goes to the concessionaire, 60%, and 40% goes to FCT.
What infrastructure did he provide that you are giving him 60%? Government build roads. Government spent a lot of money, taxpayers' money to build roads. And then you are bringing an auctioneer that is taking 60% of what you are generating from those roads. Even if he builds the road, he should not take that kind of amount of money.
How do we scrutinize or question or interact with you without figures? We are talking about the Nyanya Park here. A lot of money have been expended, and unfortunately nothing to show for it. You don't even know how much was budgeted for it. And here we are, you're telling us you're going back. Even the committee here already know how much that was budgeted for this particular project.
The Nyanya Park is mentioning. I think we've spent a lot of money in Nyanya Park, and you abandon it. What is the problem? Monies have been provided for you in 2023, 2024, no, 2022 and 2023. The director, not you, demanded transport director. What's the problem?
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says initiatives in the agricultural sector must be set up to encourage children and youth to become young farmers. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Please stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp if you have breaking news around you. Simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 018-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. Council of Chiefs in Ogun State has warned the Nigerian youth against the planned 10-day nationwide hunger and hardship protest. They said that such decision cannot solve the current economic crisis being faced in the country, but rather destroy the nation that the government has built over the years. Speaking at a press conference held to mark the 10th anniversary of Ijemo Day in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, the Ijemo High Chief, Chief Oluyinka Kufile, urged the youth to dialogue with the President Bola Tinubu's government instead of the protest. He warned that such protest may lead to the destruction of government properties and infrastructures.
In Abeokuta, I will not advise my own children to go and involve in violent protests because it doesn't resolve any issue. Okay? It doesn't resolve any issue. If we have some buildings and we have no money to renovate them,
leaders and members of the Southern Borno Development Association have demanded the reinstatement of the deposed Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Ali Ndume. Recalled that Ndume was removed from his position following his outburst on the state of the nation and was replaced by Senator Tahir Munguno. Correspondent Kunujo reports that leaders and members of the group loyal to embattled Senator Ndume converged on Unity Fountain in Abuja with placards of various inscriptions demanding for justice for their man. Addressing journalists on behalf of the body, the chairman of Southern Borno Development Association, Mohammed Ibrahim Biu, accused the Senate of not being fair to Ndume, noting that there is no big deal regarding his comment as all Nigerians know the truth.
We felt Senator Ndume was not given a fair hearing. And what Senator Ndume did say is not something new, because other senators of the APC have also expressed similar views on the floor of the Senate. And everybody knows Senator Ndume for being frank on all issues.
While pleading with the Senate to rescind its decision and restore Ndume back to his position as a Senate Chief Whip, Bill said the removal of Ndume from his position, the people of Southern Borno had been deprived of their voice in the Senate. He described Ndume as a vocal and ardent believer in the cause of justice and fairness who will not keep quiet in the face of oppression and injustice.
From Southern Borno Senatorial District, Senator Mohamed Ali Ndume is our only hope in the National Assembly. His position as the majority chief whip, that is the only position that Southern Borno has in the National Assembly and even at the federal level.
The usual heavy traffic on Ikorodu Road has increased due to ongoing bridge construction from Opebi through Iyalaro Bridge in Ojota. Galaxy News correspondent.
The usual traffic has doubled in and all around Ojota towards Maryland because of the diversion of vehicles, where only the lane coming from Ojota is open for vehicular movement on the bridge.
Yes, it has really affected because the sales dropped. Not just only the road itself, the economic itself, everything around expenses, the dollar exchange, the clearing, the importation, everything has affected the sales of the industry. And this is our own work. This is what we use our hand to do. We start from the scratch. The source of our cane, source of all our materials has always been an issue right from time.
Yes, you quickly rebuild the road so customer can be entering quickly, because without that place you cannot sell any market.
Okay. The operators of the cane crafts business under the Iyalaro Bridge, though, commended the road those doing business in the area are going through currently.
The government can also see through what we are going through and all that. But we just pray that the Lord Almighty will still help our government and to also remember us. And that's just our prayers.
And the rest is that they should be fast with the road so everything can come back as before.
How was before?
Before was they have been selling too well. Yes, than now. I have not been selling.
The diversion on this Iyalaro Bridge has created a real heavy traffic for commuters on this axis between Ojota and Maryland. And this is because of the construction work going on here for to pave way for the completion of the bridge that will come from Okwebi to this area. It is necessary that this work is done in time, because this has added to the hours, to the minute, to the time people spend on the road in Lagos. Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Nigerians are advised to consider alternative forms of energy to power their homes and workplaces in light of undecided and unstable billings due to gradual removal of subsidy in the sector. Galaxy's Iri Bamisalako tells us more in this report.
Once again, the issue agitated Nigerians happy to be moved to Band A and charged exorbitantly for electricity usage. If Nigerians are to learn from petrol subsidy removal, the intervention of the House of Representatives might not be enough to return the former rate of around 66 naira per kilowatt hour. Perhaps it's time to consider other sources of electricity generation.
It's just about saying that you cannot live anymore. Okay, 20 hours and you are paying, through your nose. Businesses are dying. The ones that are surviving are only, struggling to survive, which means that they may die.
There are two alternative ways that could be used for individuals to power their systems at home. One is the use of solar energy. The solar energy, here in Nigeria, we are blessed with sunlight. How it works is that the sun falls into a photovoltaic panels, and this converts the energy of the sun into electricity. The second one that could also be used is the windmill. This windmill is a process whereby the wind turns a turbine. It turns a turbine. This turbine rotates as the wind is blowing. Especially this could be used in the north.
As good and green as this may sound, not all households could afford these panels. The government, both federal and state, are called upon to fix the situation.
So I want to urge our institutions and other industries to go into research. We can produce panels because it's very expensive to get it, because some of these things we procure them from outside. But Nigeria, we can do them because some of these things are even produced by Nigerians outside. They are produced by Nigerians outside. It's something we can do. So government should see how to make the environment conducive.
We need the state to do. We hear of several interventions through the states from the federal government. 5 billion at some point, which was more like the palliative.
Iribami Salako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
Students of Federal College of Education Technical, Akoka, Lagos, have lamented about various inhuman conditions they're subjected to by the management of the school while protesting within the school campus. FCET students said the current leadership of the school do not have good intentions towards them. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph tells us more.
2 weeks after the entire staff of the college protested against what they call high-handedness of the provost of the school, students of Federal College of Education Technical Akoka also took up the banner expressing their displeasure about the way the affairs of the school is being handled. From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV.
Food sufficiency drive in Nigeria and make it sustainable. Initiatives in the agricultural sector must be set up to encourage children and youth to become young farmers. Senator Oluremi Tinubu stated this when she received the management team of the National Agricultural Development Fund, NADFON, who were in her office to explore areas of collaboration. She noted that the unavailability of farming land due to urbanization should not be a hindrance as people can engage in smart gardening. She explained that the proposed Young Farmers Club by the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, would be launched very soon in public, primary and secondary schools will further sustain the current food sufficiency drive by the federal government. In his remarks, the Executive Secretary of the National Agricultural Development Fund, NADFON, Mohammed Ibrahim, commended the various agri-centered programs of the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, by the First Lady, particularly the Women in Agri Support Program, the Young Farmers Club, and the Every Home a Garden competition.
Where I would have really liked, because that was where we're just dilly-dallying a bit, was the area of the youth. I don't know whether you want to work with children in Young Farmers Club. Young Farmers Club will be something that I believe that your team can invest in, because young people are the future of any idea we are putting on the table right now, because there has been a huge disconnect between what reality is and what fiction is, or what social media is. Because in social media they can build a castle in 1 minute, but that's not the reality.
We have decided to tackle Nigeria's food security crisis with a very pragmatic approach. We have taken time to develop a 5-year strategy, a roadmap that we feel will help us solve the big challenge we are facing and also fulfill our mandate. The Every Home a Garden initiative, to my taking, shows exemplary leadership at times of crisis. What this connotes is that you have indicated that food security is everybody's responsibility by asking people to bring gardens and be food secure within their homes. Again, we commend you for this,
In line with the Operation Delta Sanity 3 initiative of the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ugala, to restore sanity both in kinetic and non-kinetic approach, the forward operating base of the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Delta has conducted a free medical rhapsody in the Delta community of Madago in Warri West, southwest local government area of the state. Our correspondent Dele Fason has the rest of the story.
Leading his team to the coastal host community, which has no presence of medical facilities, the commanding officer for operating base Escravos, Navy Captain Olayinka Aliyu, said the outreach is part of the Nigerian Navy non-kinetic approach.
Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala, launched Operation Delta Sanity 3 on the 10th of July 2024, and as part of the two-pronged approach to fighting the...
Some of the community leaders who benefited from the exercise commended the Nigerian Navy for the gesture, as the commanding officer harps on cementing the relationship.
This is a very nice exercise. This is the first of its type. We are just seeing it for the first time over the years. Now there's no clinic in this place. The cottage hospital here was burned down during crisis, and till now it's not been built back. And now we are lack of medical facilities between the area. We are just have a little health center.
I would like to thank the Nigerian Navy for such a medical outreach. It's a very laudable gesture. We appreciate on behalf of the community, Madago community in Ubodo. And we have not experienced this for many years, not until they are coming today to express this love and kindness to the people of Madago community and the community around in Ubodo.
The means of giving back to
the much that we have received from the community, it's only fair enough to have this outreach happen within Madao. And other outreaches are still coming, which is part of the educational outreach before the resumption of school.
In fostering a good working relationship between the military and the civilians, medical rhapsody of this nature is key in ensuring that they cement the relationship. Just like the words of the Chief of the Naval Staff, the civil-military relationship is key in ensuring that crude oil theft and all forms of criminality is brought to the very minimum level. From Madao community, Daily Fast reporting for Galaxy News.
Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji presented gratuity checks totaling 1 billion naira to another batch of 450 pensioners in the state, just as he restated his administration's resolve to defray all outstanding gratuity arrears within a short time. Governor Oyebanji, while presenting the checks at a brief event at the Jibo Hall Government House, said his government will continue to prioritize the welfare of the senior citizens who had served the state diligently and maliciously as a way of appreciating their services to humanity and to the growth of the state. He also disclosed that his administration had paid over 14 billion naira gratuity in pension to deserving retirees, as well as ensuring that all pension arrears of over 1 billion naira owed by the state government and 150 million outstanding deduction were paid. Also assured pensioners that they will also benefit from the minimum wage. Earlier in his opening remark, the head of service, Dr. Folakemi, who hailed the amount paid as gratuity, described it as unprecedented and thanked the governor for walking his talk. In an interview with newsmen, the chairman of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners Ekiti State Chapter, Joe Akinlola, expressed their gratitude to the governor for prioritizing the welfare of the pensioners and the entire workforce in the state.
Our governor for bending over backward in giving honor and due recognition to our senior citizens and the elderly at large. It's been said this is the highest that has been paid in the history of the state.
Very happy that it comes at this time, particularly at this season when things are very costly in Nigeria now. Let me tell you, an average pensioner is under tension. Tension of what to eat, tension of what to wear, tension of drugs, tension of dependent relatives. But with the little you have, at least you'll be able to give something out of, instead of nothing, right? If somebody you are supposed to give 5,000 and you're able to give that, take 1,000, you will appreciate it.
A critical part of our policy, they work for the state, they've served the state, and they deserve to rest well. You know, so we are not doing them a favor. They work for these benefits, and we must pay them. And our desire, hopefully, is to extinguish everything as soon as possible. A committee is in place working to find the best way so that we can pay everybody at once.
The coalition of northern groups, CNJ, has condemned the endorsement by 180 lawmakers for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. The CNJ described this move as treacherous and an affront to the victims of terrorism attacks in Nigeria. The body, in a statement issued by International Coordinator Jamil Chiranchi, recalled their 2017 report to the UN advocating for Kanu's group to be designated as a terrorist organization, which was later declared by the Nigerian government in 2021. The CNJ rejected the legislative move, questioning the motives of the lawmakers, particularly those from northern Nigeria, just as it commended Honorable Aminu Jamo for his courageous stand against endorsement and called on Nigerians to rise up against terrorism and those who enable it. The body vowed to ensure that the blood of their loved ones is not in vain and that terrorism does not prevail. Floods are very important for natural environment. Flooding is essentially good for the health of floodplain vegetation and can act as a trigger for germination of new plants, and a number of bird and fish species also rely on flooding to provide suitable breeding conditions. Despite this benefit, the negative impact of floods on human environment cannot be overemphasized, as it can lead to loss of lives and properties. Galaxy TV Bosa Nyakisag has details in this report. It is hardly surprising that rivers have been an important part of human history. They provide food, fresh water, and fertile land for growing crops. While water is essential to life, it can be a destructive force too. When rivers flood, the effect can be catastrophic. Flooding is one of the most common types of natural disaster, and the results are often fatal. The aftermath of flood can be devastating. Deadly waterborne diseases like dysentery and cholera spread quickly, and those who survived face the threat of starvation, amongst others. The human cost of flooding can be large, but events like this have a big impact on the natural earth too, and the effects are not always negative. In fact, some ecosystems rely on seasonal flooding to drive ecological processes. Some victims of flood narrate their ordeal as they lost their loved ones from this avoidable natural disaster.
There is rain that passed with our brothers. So we really came to Kaduna around 7:30 in the night. So as we reached the place, we find out that the children were missed, and we followed them off to the place that people are expecting to see them. We reached the place. Unfortunately, we did not see them. We now came back around 9 after we slept. Then in the morning around 6, we left the home again to the place. After we reached the place, we found out that the children were under stone, one big stone. Only one of them. That's our Gino brother that we found in the place. After they come, we start preparing for him. We do everything that religion designed for us to do. We did it religiously, and we finished. Around 11, our parents come from Zaria. Then we take him to where to pray for him, and we pray. After that, we take him to the graveyard.
That was around 8:30. I was not at home. That was exactly when I'm back to my home, and I had the issues of how the rain and how children walk into the gutter. So probably I was told that one of my stepsister's son was involved in swimming down to the stream. And definitely, I was told that he has lost his life.
These victims of flood disaster are appealing to government and community members to ensure they help in clearing water drainage and rivers so as to avoid future occurrence.
We are calling the government attention to look at how the stream is, if you can coverage how the damage of that's our bridge near our own house. It need to be maintained. You understand? It need to be maintained. It needs the attention of government to look at how the stream it is. It's very bad, and we have a lot of small children from 3, 4 above 5, 10 years.
For the government to do their possible best, though before government do their own, we are living in the area like this, we have to give our own contribution towards the development of the environment. Because if we said I will rely on government 100%, it will be difficult for government because they have a lot to do. So we have to start doing our own so that government may realize that they will do better for us, they will help us. But we are calling on government to do better for this community, because if you look at the place, there is a lot of houses in the place, and if this keeps happening, then people will keep losing their lives.
The risk of floods are also vulnerable.
Proper solid waste management is not all about cleanliness, because the improper solid waste disposal is a major cause of flooding, and it affects our public health, it pollutes the environment, and we're trying to make people aware that flooding is actually caused by human interference. It's one of the major causes, human interference. So we are trying to stem the habit of people dumping refuse anyhow.
Halima says the National Emergency Agency has created different ways making communities more aware, including engaging fresh graduates serving the country on the things that causes flood.
The Community Development Service Group with the NYSC, that's the NEMA NYSC CDS group. Part of their community development service is to clear the drainages, to make people aware, to reawaken the community's habits of cleaning their drainages and to desist from the improper disposal of refuse.
And I'll move over to the foreign desk for more news. Hello and welcome to the foreign news. A plane crash in Nepal killed all 18 passengers on board on Wednesday and left the pilot injured, police said. The Sauraya Airlines plane crashed during takeoff on a test flight from Nepal's capital of Kathmandu to Kurhara. The plane took off and turned right before it crashed in the eastern section of the airport, Nepal Civil Aviation Authority said. Kathmandu Airport General Manager Jagannath Narolu told newsmen further details were still being confirmed. Footage of the incident showed a large smoke plume with firefighters at the scene. Sauraya Airlines operates the Bombardier CRJ-200 regional jet on domestic route. The plane was scheduled to undergo maintenance for a month beginning Thursday. It is unclear why it crashed, a spokesperson for the carrier said. Nepal's aviation sector has a poor safety record due to insufficient training and maintenance. The European Union has banned all Nepalese airlines from its airspace. Israel's Prime Minister will address the joint houses of the U.S. Congress in a bid to bolster support for his war in the Gaza Strip. Benjamin Netanyahu's invite was initiated by the Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, whose party is trying to show unflinching support for Israel. But several Democratic lawmakers plan to boycott the address over the levels of U.S. military assistance to Israel, given the huge numbers of Palestinians killed. Netanyahu arrived in the U.S. on Monday. After addressing Congress on Wednesday, he will meet President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, then have a separate meeting with Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. Netanyahu has said he will present the truth about our just war during his address to the Congress in what is his first trip to the U.S. since the conflict with Hamas began. Israel's PM continues to face both international and domestic pressures for his handling of the war, which started nearly 10 months ago. 9 people have died and 4 more are missing after a Spanish fishing boat sank in the South Atlantic Ocean, a Spanish government official has said. The 27-member crew abandoned the Argos, Georgia, and took to life raft when it started taking on water on Monday about 200 nautical miles off the coast of the Falkland Islands. Pedro Blanco, the Spanish government representative in the northwestern region of Galicia, said that 14 of those on board had survived. Officials on the Falklands said a number had been rescued by a fisheries patrol vessel and 2 other fishing boats, and that the search continued for the other missing crew members. The Falkland Island government, a British overseas territory, had earlier described conditions in the South Atlantic as extremely challenging, including gale force winds and waves reported to be 8 meters high. A military helicopter had to abandon search and rescue operations because of the sea conditions and the distance from land. And still on foreign news, dozens of people have been detained in the Ugandan capital Kampala after joining scattered anti-corruption protests in defiance of an official ban. Lawyers said around 60 people, including a prominent TV presenter and 3 young protest leaders, were hurriedly brought before court and remanded in custody following a march on the country's parliament. President Yoweri Museveni, who has ruled Uganda for almost 4 decades, had warned before the event that protesters were playing with fire. The march was organized on social media amid anger over long-running allegations of corruption involving several high-profile public officials. The protest was partly inspired by demonstrations last month in Demora in Kenya, which forced President William Ruto to drop planned tax rises. Meanwhile, Kenya's President William Ruto has nominated key allies of main opposition leader Raila Odinga to his cabinet in the latest move to quell growing dissatisfaction with his government. He gave 4 posts to the opposition, including the powerful finance and energy ministries. This is the first time the opposition will serve in government since Odinga, the post of Prime Minister in then-President Mwai Kibaki cabinet in 2008. Ruto's decision comes as he faces the biggest crisis of the presidency, with young people taking to the streets to demand his resignation under the hashtag Ruto Must Go. In an address to the nation, Ruto said he had consulted extensively on forming a broad-based government that would spearhead a transformational agenda to make Kenya a better, more just and prosperous nation. However, protesters have rejected a broad-based government, saying it merely perpetuates deal-making among Kenya's political elite. Ruto appointed 10 cabinet members in total, bringing his cabinet to 21. And finally, on foreign news, one of Germany's main regional airports had to hold flight on Wednesday morning after climate activist protesters glued themselves to the tarmac. Cologne-born airport after said unauthorized people gained access to the airfield on Wednesday morning, leading to all flight operations being suspended as police moved in. A number of inbound flights were diverted to their nearby airport before police said they had completed their operations at 9:15. Cologne-born airport said flights were resuming, but that delays and cancellations should be expected throughout the day. It urged passengers to check with the airline to tour operator for update. The activist group Last Generation said 5 people had glued themselves to the tarmac and published pictures of a member with his hands glued to the taxiway. Last Generation said it wanted the German government to pursue a global agreement to exit oil, gas and coal by 2030. And that's all we have on the foreign news. And now move over to entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here are the stories on News Today.
It's a tough time for DJ Copy and the entire Otedola family as they lose their maternal grandmother, Mrs. Cecilia Abosediata. The deceased, fondly known as Grandma Kaduna by her grandchildren, was the mother of billionaire Femi Otedola's wife and was aged 90 years. Sharing the heartbreaking news on her Instagram story, Copy prayed for her soul to rest in peace as she noted how her grandmother was the one who shaped her mother, who in turn made her who she is today. Copy stated that her grandmother was a force to be reckoned with and had lived a life. The disc jockey stated that she was praying for her own during the sudden season of change. The Oxford graduate stated that despite her death, her grandmother's spirit lives on, guiding and comforting them. There is no doubt that Copy would miss her grandmother as she was close to her. The estranged wife of Nigerian socialite Koko Zaria has slammed Nollywood actress Awele Odita for accusing her of sleeping around. Hours ago, Awele Odita had called out Koko Zaria, who is her baby daddy, for accusing her of sleeping with his boss, MC Olumo. Debunking the allegation, she stated that Koko Zaria's wife was the one sleeping around and not her, and claimed that she had a voice recording as evidence. She noted how she is the mother of his only son and as such deserves respect and honesty and not slander and deceit. Now replying to her, Kudi admitted that she sleeps around as she considers herself a prostitute who belongs to the street. She made it known that she is no longer with Koko Zaria, hence she is free to do whatever she likes. She stated that though Koko Zaria isn't her husband, he's the father of her kids and as such she will defend him. She noted how Awele only has one child for him, hence wouldn't care if he falls, while she has many. She said that what Awele Odita enjoyed in 2 years from Koko Zaria she didn't enjoy in their 20 years of marriage. Comedian Brain Jotter has addressed concerns that he has made a profit from using Mike Ejega's 1983 hit song Gogo Gongo. It was reported recently that Brain Jotter launched a dancing challenge including Ejega's song, which makes a lot of people happy. It is noteworthy that the 93-year-old man superstar wrote the tune more than 40 years ago. Nonetheless, Brain Jotter's recent use of it has captured the attention of social media platforms, posing questions about copyright and revenue distribution. Brain Jotter underlined, however, in a statement released on Tuesday, that he is not profiting financially from the viral challenge. Nigerian artist Adebayo Adeleke, well known as B-Red, has generated a lot of buzz online with his recent birthday photo shoot. B-Red, the cousin of Afrobeat superstar Davido, celebrated an important day by posting some pictures on his Instagram profile. Sharing the photos and a video, B-Red captioned his post, "Happy birthday to me." B-Red made a risky and audacious photoshoot choice when he posed with a glass of wine in a foam-filled bathtub. Fans and followers have been in awe of the singer's seductive photos.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Riz Blossom. Bye for now.